Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video. In today's video, we're gonna be doing kind of like a review or a bit of maybe of like a let's talk, I guess, about Batman Under the Red Hood. So yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So Batman Under the Red Hood, I don't know if I've ever really talked. I think I've done a video once before, but I know it's a while ago. Sorry about that. Sorry. But yeah, I know I've done a video in the past about it. But I mean, it's been a long time since I've done it, so I thought let's update it. Let's just talk a bit about it. Give my thoughts. Also, talk a bit about some stuff about it. I mean, there's honestly a few different things I want to talk about and talking points. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. So, if you didn't already know, Batman Under the Red Hood, personally, this is my personal opinion, I think it is maybe one of the best DC animated movies. I would say easy top five in just like superhero animated movies. Personally, to me, I think what would go over top of this in terms of like superhero movies, probably just like Into the Spider Verse, and maybe you could put maybe something like Flashpoint Paradox or something. But I mean, easily this is just one of the best. I mean, this movie is just great on all levels. It fulfills exactly what it's meant to fulfill. It it tells a great kind of like standalone story. It gives the comic justice. It's virtually flawless. I mean, if you're to watch this movie, you definitely there maybe there's one or two things that are off, but I mean virtually it's flawless. I mean it's great. It tells a good story, good character development. It's really good, really enjoyable. Honestly, personally, I highly recommend this movie. Like even if you don't care for superheroes or what, I still highly recommend watching this movie because one, you get not even just to like get a better better know characters and stuff. Like just as it as like a solid movie, I definitely highly recommend this. Just because again, it delivers a lot of things, and I also like the hidden like kind of like the message you get from Red Hood essentially, and as well as it just kind of tells a good story. I mean, yeah, I think it's really good story wise. It's really good, and it's really good in terms of your characters. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into some stuff like I liked about the movie. Like, first of all, character wise, this is next level. I honestly like out of all animated movies, superhero wise, this is easily like I think this is the best character develop like character analysis type movie. Like when it comes down to characters and like character development and everything, this is probably the best movie. It edges out into the Spider Verse easily. Uh, so yeah, I mean, like it's really good in that retrospect of it just being that solid on the character development part, especially with just all of that happening with the different characters being developed. Because one thing I liked about the character development part, it was developing, of course, Jason Todd into Red Hood, of course, or Red Hood as a character. We get like he's really good. Sorry, he was really well built, a really well built character. That's what I meant to say. But it also develops characters such as like Batman. It really showcases Batman on a different level. Like personally, I don't know about you guys, but it made me look at Batman in a whole different way. Like especially because Red Hood or Jason Todd was making a lot of good plot points in the sense that he was like, why let this guy live when he's about to just kill everybody and all do it all over again, murder a bunch of people. It really made you in like have some insight into like what's going on. And then also you could like argue Batman's point and stuff with that. Like look at what has happened to Red Hood. He's essentially turned into not a maniac, but I mean he's turned into more like he's unhinged of sorts. So like there's like those reasons as well where it just makes that character development just so much more better. Not to, I mean, outside these two characters, I would say, yeah, uh, I think I don't know if it's Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul. I know it's different pronunciations all the time, but yeah, I know that he had some good character development. I saw him in a different way. Joker maintained the same, but he's still an A-list character, so it's not even that bad. So that was pretty cool. I mean, Nightwing was there, and Nightwing is not too bad. So I mean, yeah, he was definitely interesting to the most part. But I mean, he was just more in further. He's like a more like very supportive character. It wasn't like he was the greatest character or anything. So yeah. Now in terms of story wise, I mean, I thought it told a really good story. I mean, basically a failed apprentice comes back for his master, ready to essentially fight his master and also kill the guy who put him in the grave. So, like, I think that by itself was a good premise, and I actually really did enjoy like the aspects of like it being some sort of kind of like a revenge story. Like you could even look at it that way. I mean, like Red Hood essentially came back to Gotham for revenge, and this is kind of like a revenge story. He's tormenting everybody and everything. And again, like especially if you've never seen the or never read the comic, or you never knew Jason Todd was Red Hood, like this is a stellar story. Like it keeps that hidden for the most part. I mean, maybe you could figure it out maybe in like second act something like that, or like midway into the movie you could figure it out just because of the flashbacks and stuff. But I mean, still like there's just it just was on another level with its reveal and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. It just you kind of felt it through the character as well. It brought some emotion. That's the next thing. It brought some good themes and emotion. Like you really felt it when it was like Jason went on that monologue. It's like, you let this guy survive. I thought you would kill him after what he did to me. And he's like all that stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna repeat everything he said, but yeah, that brought some emotion, which I really liked, and as well as the emotion at the start of the movie too. It wasn't even. It just built up, especially when we saw like Jason originally getting beat by the Joker and then killed. Uh, that brought in emotion as in it of itself, and then you kind of like throughout the story, you bring out that emotion more, and then eventually just it's just like wow, he's really there, and you're like you just kind of feel bad and stuff. So yeah, that's one thing right there. It brought out like a lot of emotion and themes of different things and everything. That's one thing I really enjoyed was just the characters and stuff. It was really enjoyable in that aspect. Another aspect I don't like not many people I see really touch on is the voice acting. So it is an animated movie, of course, and with that being said, there's voice actors and everything, and like the actors, like the voice actors and stuff, they play a phenomenal job. Now, I remember before I used to be like, because at the time, of course, Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman. So I remember thinking, why the heck isn't Batman being voiced by Kevin Conroy? And I was like, this is gonna be, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But then I heard Greenwood's voice, and honestly, I think he plays a good Batman. I think he voices him really good, in my opinion. I think he just does a flawless job. I mean, his voice really fits Batman. I mean, is he like way better than Kevin Conroy or anything? No. Do I think Kevin Conroy's voice could have fit into this whole storyline? Yeah, he could. We saw it later on, and technically in Arkham Knight, and I did fill in well. But I mean, still, I feel like it was the right call to. I'm not exactly sure what the exact reason was for that, but I mean, still, it was the right call to essentially. Sorry, it was the right call to essentially put Bruce Greenwood into the movie. So yeah, And then of course Jensen Ackles as Red Hood. I want to say this time and time after again. I think Jensen Ackles is a really good actor. I think he's a really good voice actor. That is, I think he's really phenomenal. Just I know technically I'm not talking about this, but I mean he also voiced Batman along Halloween. He did a phenomenal job with that. So I really liked him as Red Hood. I think he really fit that like the stature of Red Hood. Like Red Hood's voice is supposed to be a mixture of like, look at me, I'm a stone cold badass that like Batman. I'm menacing, but also in a mixture of like kind of not a scared teenager, but more of like a little bit more of like a teenage kind of voice mixed in. So he's not completely menacing, but he's still got a little touch of fear in him. So that's what I really like. Ackles really he brung it when he came down to voicing him, and I thought it's just so believable. And honestly, to this day, I don't think anyone else in any iteration, video game, movie, television. He's not been a movie, so forget about movie, but television, uh, television, video game, he hasn't been voiced well since. Like I think Jensen Ackles is the voice of Red Hood, in my personal opinion. Uh, yeah. And then Joker wise, I thought I think it's John DiMaggio. He did a good job. He didn't do like a stellar job, but he did do a good job. So yeah. Now let's like talk a bit about where it's just like meh to me, like in my personal opinion. And sorry, I think this movie is flawless still, but there is just a few things that just like what the heck to me. Like first of all, the conclusion is kind of unsatisfying in my personal opinion. I don't I'm not the biggest fan of just like, sorry, I keep yawning. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So like I'm personally I know there's definitely people out there that are a fan of this, but personally, in my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of very open-ended endings. Like question endings. I'm in a fan of just like closing your story out. That's what I want to see. That just could be me. I don't know, but personally, I'm not a big fan of like super open ended endings because if you remember at the end, it didn't really show what happened at the end. Like we have no clue if Red Hood what happened to Red Hood after that. We have no clue what happened to him after that. So I mean, that's completely open ended. Joker again, have no clue. I mean, maybe someone got an answer, and I should have told this at the start of the video. I'm talking about here Under the Red Hood movie, not Death in the Family movie, because those are kind of like two completely different things. Because if you remember, they created like some sort of like short film sequel or something, or I don't know exactly. I've seen it once, but yeah, I'm talking about this as its own. And of course, it's standalone, so of course you're not trying to set up for any sequels. So it's just like why they leave it open ended. I'd love to see something like maybe perhaps he survives, does there his ways, or he just dies. That could have been a satisfying ending or something. Just that's my personal opinion. I would have rather that ending where he like we see him at the Batcave or something, and he's like, oh, "I'm sorry," like a mysterious force or whatever, and then we end up seeing him like he supports a bat symbol now, so like he does or something like that. That's just my personal opinion on that. But I mean, it's still a flawless movie. Besides that little side point, but I mean, yeah. Anyways, uh, and another thing, it's a little short. I can't remember the exact runtime. Just wish it could have been a little longer because I feel like we didn't get too much Red Hood action. Like honestly, I think the movie could have benefited a little bit maybe from like a scene where Red Hood is just completely like we see him like completely taking down a gang or something by himself. It could have been interesting to see that happen. because really it's just all hearsay, except for when Batman fought him. But I mean that's the point. Like this was kind of like we were kind of like in Batman's mind of sorts, because we were like basically just learning from his perspective. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it though. In terms of like rating, I'd give it an easy 9.5 out of 10. It's a really good movie. Highly recommend watching it. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.